Third map decider. I didn't think we'd get here when we first had a chat about this series in the pre-game, but Dean, you told me you wanted a long BO3 because you have had many 2-0s recently. Well, we might have got it.
Yeah, well, I actually haven't done a cast in a couple of weeks since the last games in this, but they were 2-0s. I was getting the more one-sided games, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
So I'm happy we've got the full 3-map series, but it's been in such a weird fashion as well that I am hoping we get more of a bit of a back and forth within this map itself now. Hooch with the initial kill over towards B, actually taking the initiative outside Monster. Was dinked in the process of getting that first kill though, so an easy trade comes back around, and eventually the Glocks are going to overrun that B bomb site, but not before the numbers are kept equal initially, and it doesn't even give the room and the time for the bomb to be planted.
Yeah, Nickelback, that's a lovely swing, taking out the first player, but now SlaxZ 1v2. Will expect Mir to be so close towards Monster. He does not, and that is a lovely start for Entropiq on this final map. CT pistol in their favour, no bomb plant either. And even without that, they're going to go for the hero buy. We see it straight away. SlaxZ minus 2,700. You know what that is? That is an AK-47. They're going to be buying up around that to try and see if they can get this hero rifle some action.
Yeah, it's worth a shot when you know the weaker CT buy is still going to be in play. I mean, chances are that there would be no rifles even in this buy potentially. Sometimes you see that a lot on the likes of Overpass, because there is a lot of those closer range areas where the SMGs can be very usable still. They've decided against going too heavy though on the weaker weapons and have instead gone for 3 rifles, which I like to see. 1 MP9 scattered in there as well. That's Hooch, who might have a chance to build up some economy. Mir, who is, well, already coming up with a couple of frags on mid. Gets himself the bomb control as well. Might not realize the player's already bypassed him, but it doesn't matter. He had a teammate watching that angle either way. So it's only SlaxZ left standing. It doesn't seem like this force buy is going to give them anything at all. Oh, and Hooch through the smoke might even get himself a kill. Oh, no, never mind. 2 for SlaxZ, okay.
That's more than he bargained for, that's for sure. I mean,
rifle, get that out of
M4.
there.
Oh, he's made it. He's got strong arms.
If only he had more than 5 health, he could have maybe went for something with that M4.
Yeah, Hooch will feel a bit upset.
Oh my god!
How has he got another one? Did he get the flank? Okay, he looked back, but he was reloading, so he'll get sent into the next round by Mir. But that is
he even ends it in style when he dies.
Exactly, right? That's style throughout the round, ends it in style, and honestly, styled on Entropiq. That is unbelievable damage. He's got 6 kills. He got 3 in the pistol, and now 3 in the second as well. Damage to the economy there is huge early doors here.
Yeah, SlaxZ pulled up his big boy pants in that round and said, alright, fine, I'll make sure that we're not going to let them get away with a stupid-ass economy. Because they know how that goes. They've been the ones in the previous 2 maps who were able to get that early advantage and build off of clean rounds. So just being able to avoid that happening to them going into this initial gun round is always a nice find. The Eagles again are available. Surprisingly not for SlaxZ though. Obviously he wants to save towards the op, but you feel like if one of his teammates look at him and see he doesn't have a team, they sacrifice their own life. I'm joking at this point, obviously, but it was a ridiculous round. Krad just destroys them. That's unfortunate. I think a flash came over, but it didn't really do anything, and then Zyphon dinged the teammate somehow. So it all just kind of went south.
If only Stair had the bomb.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Could have gotten a free plant and some free money, but as it is, as you so rightly say, I think SlaxZ fully ecoing after getting so many kills as he has in the opening few rounds. It's like, yeah, well, getting an extra 3, which I believe is a very good bolsterer to the economy to be able to buy an AWP into the following round. And there you go, he's got 6250, so he's going to be fine. Extra cash from those kills is very handy to get that T-side AWP up and running. But Entropiq, perfect start. The question is, how long can they keep it going? Sprout right now are going to be, I think, pretty upset with themselves that this has gotten so out of hand. But it's a long way to go in this decider, and they aren't a bad team on Overpass. Hopefully the T-side start doesn't hamper them too much.
Yeah, not a bad team at all. I think, just as you said, a bit disappointed that they weren't able to continue on with the damage from that second round, unfortunately. Did allow Entropiq to come in with what is a bonus round, but not really, because the weapons aren't limited. The only player who was spent a bit too much would be Krad. He actually did invest up to a rifle, or else drop something over, I think, to get the AK in return. The initial kill is going to be found there for Stair. Catching Mir, I think, trying to peek in towards middle. feeling the confidence since he had a fantastic start, of course, to this game, but paying a big price in the early stages now.
Yeah.
See whether the damage that's been done gives Entropiq what they need to maybe turn this around. In fairness, they haven't given up really any map control at all, despite losing that player.
Hooch continuing to tap away at that smoke while Krad pushes up, but there are many players holding this line. Look at Krad, he's right on the corner of that smoke. Not been spotted yet by either team, and look at that. The re-smoke comes in at exactly the right time as well, but finally, maybe a gun barrel or something has been shot by Slaxz. Good choice to shoot then and finds him on the corner of that, but Nickelback does at least still find Zyphon and Connector as he does a double take. He crosses the angle, but Hooch is very, very blind to the back of Monster. It's going to be an Arquez on the pillar, and that's a beautiful flick for the second. Trying to angle it for the third, and this is classic Arquez. All down to Slaxz. 2v1 for Slaxz as well. Bomb dropped on the site next to him, and Arquez is playing a blinder right now, dancing on the pillar like old school Guardian, but now it's puts his AWP around the pillar, and he gets another one. Shoves the barrel in Slaxz's throat to say, I'm the AWP on the server that you should be worried about. And Entropiq get an insane fourth.
That was nasty. I was very afraid, though. It was just down to who got the click off first on the no-scope there at close range. And Arquez runs a bit quicker, manages to get himself out of the danger zone and come out on top. But that 3K was the initial triple kill. The second, especially the flick up as they were moving in, was just nasty. If he showed himself for even another millisecond, he probably would have been traded. So he just done an amazing job just coming in and out of the angles incredibly quickly. And, well, it is allowing Entropiq to run away with an incredible lead in the early stages. Again, an opening advantage being found as they change things up and push out through Connector towards the B short position. Taking out one lurker on that side of the map and making things now likely a lot easier as they can shift this kind of attention from around Connector. Although Zyphon is still in Connector, of course. I did think that wasn't going to be too much of an issue considering they had Krad watching for it, but he goes down. It does pull the attention of Mir back in that direction, and it allows for trades towards this A bomb site now to give some hope over to the Sprout side. At least a bomb plant goes down, so their buy in this next round is going to be fantastic at the very least. And who knows, with a rifle in play right now, they can still maybe get something done to close this round out.
Problem is, Slaxz has no armor, but he does have Hooch to face. You never know. In the end, Hooch recovers it nicely. Well done. Only just, but only just is enough in that scenario. And now Stare is left 1v3 with just the Deagle. Only a kit on Mia. And right now, he's the one that's actually furthest away from the bomb. So if Stare can take this one, there's a chance. But yeah, not to be in the end. Diffuse can come in comfortably. And that's 5-0 for Entropiq. Sprout must be kicking themselves right now. Not for just the reasons that I'm sure everyone knows, but for the reason of that previous round where they face an Arquez's AWP. They must be thinking, God, what on earth do we have to do to actually get a success here? Because they've been the team that have been the favourites throughout the entire series. They finally get some opening picks and flash off Hooch perfectly toward Monster, and they walk into an Arquez who has his classic 1 round per game, or 1 round per map usually, that is an absolute banger. And often you can have more than that. So, yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. And look at the kills right now. 1, 1, 1, 1, 9. 10.
Yeah, I was noting that a moment ago that only Slaxz really is doing anything. I was allowing you to finish up your points first, of course, but Slaxz just continues to widen that gap right now. Oh, Slaxz, alright, Mir not hooking himself in as well as he should have in that situation right there. 1 kill eventually comes back for Nickelback, but this is easily the best round we've seen out of Sprout so far. And it really is all off the shoulders of Slaxz right now. Nickelback's flank might be useful, but the timings are going to be awkward and all over the place. I mean, even just Sprout are all over the place at the moment, so it's a hard read for Entropiq to really know what's going on. But as they deal with the lurker outside of Monster and begin to rotate some players back towards A, it does seem like they're making the right decision. Oh, and the flank is going in through long as well.
Yeah. It's an interesting situation. I mean, they're kind of locked out from the site, but they're always waiting for Nickelback, and that's the main factor. Oh, but he misses his chance. Hooch still goes 1 for 1, which is very good, of course, and now Slaxz should get peeked. He's going to get peeked from the player coming up from Green Bin, and there you go. Once again, it's all down to Stare. 1 versus 2. And even getting one would be nice, so everyone on the team hasn't got 1 kill compared to Slaxz's 12. Slaxz has got 3 in this round. He must be wondering what on earth does he have to do to get around for his team. 20 seconds, Stare charging up toward the side. There's still playing toward long. Does he check it? He gets caught between the two. Krad takes the frag, 6-0. Sprout, where are you?
Faulty seed, maybe?
Good one. I miss casting with you, because you always come up with at least 1 pun per game, which I'm just not expecting.
Yeah, we don't get to do enough together. It's always fun.
You had a little break, so fair enough.
Sprout are struggling, though. I don't understand why. SlaxZ is on 12 kills, and then you've got the other players with 4 between them. He's got 3 times more kills than everyone else combined. It is incredibly ridiculous, and they're all sitting on 6 deaths as well. It's just every round is ending with them just having their numbers dwindle down. We aren't even seeing bomb plants coming close, really. The closest they got to a bomb plant was when they made it close-ish to the bomb site, and then they got swatted down by an Arquez.
Exactly. Boost coming in. Krad and Mir delaying it for a second.
Heavy B stack in general.
Yeah, 4 here. There you go. Timing on it is pretty good, but doesn't spot the closest player, the con player.
They might hear those rotations.
Oh, look at that, yeah. You're about to say the rotation as well. Now there are 3 here on the A-bomb site. Narquez gets the first. SlaxZ taken out. Zyphon looking to close the distance. Instead, really taking off out the equation, and there we go. They're trading their way in nicely here, but Mir is still around. And look at the damage he's done to Stare. Oh, it's a great second, and unfortunately for Sprout, it's Stare to get the trade and not the high HP player. Nickelback not choosing to swing just yet. He's waiting, and he'd be right to wait because as he does go, Refresh takes his head off. It's Hooch the coach, 1 versus 2. No kit, but there are 3 laden on the site directly in front of him. How does he play this one? He's got a smoke. He's got a flash. Can Hooch roll back the years? The 35-year-old coach of this roster, forced to play here because of Forrester's issues. Tap on the bomb comes in, and he'll get off of it because he hasn't picked up that kit yet, and unfortunately he's being flanked upon. Looks for the kill towards Stare, finds it, and he knows that Refresh is stuck behind the smoke. Where's the kit? He's got it. Now he's going to hold it. Hooch on the bomb. Refresh, when do you swing? The answer is now, and he gets it just in time. Goodness me. Nice try, Coach Hooch, but not to be. Sprout finally get off the board.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Even the fact that Hooch is able to get that as close as it goes in the end is ridiculous. Brings it down to the 1 versus 1. Comes within a second of getting the defuse as well. Well played, of course. Able to draw out that initial player, but it's just scary that Sprout are, even the round that they managed to win here is just so damn close. They're scraping together another buy out to try and continue putting up a fight, and well, Entropiq as well are in a very similar position, quite surprisingly, considering they had taken those 6 rounds in a row, a decent few of which were pretty clean as well.
AK removed from Mir again. And yeah, as you so rightly say, I mean, so much damage done. It just, that's why they've gone for, only had that deagle on SlaxZ before he recovers that AK, right? Because they need utility. And as you can see, LauNX has got none. Zyphon's only got the flash. Already, this is another round that's in Entropiq's favour. A lot of the rounds have been close though, so that is, you've got to keep that in your brain, because if Sprout just take 1 in the next few, you'd have to say, oh my goodness.
See him?
Oh my goodness.
That had to have been 4x3, right? Because he was right on the edge of the screen.
SlaxZ turn around.
Oh! There we go. Now he's behind the rock. The worst timing, but this might work in his favour to perhaps get a little bit more. Did he not see the player pushed up short there as well? It looked like they had seen each other. Apparently not. The smoke must have just about covered it. Either way, Sprout are going to start falling back, and now that they're moving back in, they probably won't expect Mir pushed all the way up on mid, so he is a position to potentially catch a player or 2 off guard. Suddenly they have 30 seconds to try and somehow sprint the bomb towards the site then. So yeah, if Mir even gets 1 kill right now, they're kind of screwed.
This is so weird. 25 seconds, you're going to have to make a call. Okay, they found Mir. Now the A-bomb site is completely open, so here's the chance. SlaxZ in heaven, they had no idea he was here. And that should be fine to herd the bomb off toward A. 15 seconds, they're going to be fine, I think. Hooch gets swung on, and Krad, they're straight up con very quickly. This round is suddenly back in Entropiq's favour. Zyphon has to plant the bomb quickly, but he's planting on truck, and Hooch has the drop on him. He just recovers the kill, but now he's got more players coming his way. Flash doesn't, in the end, help out, and it's all down to Slaxz. How is this round fallen up into a 1v1? I've got no idea. It's Slaxz versus Anarkes, the two Orpas, both on a rifle, and Anarkes makes it happen. Incredible positioning in that round from everyone on the server, seemingly. That was wild and wacky, and that's exactly how I like it. 7-1.
Yeah, oh, that was just crazy. Anarkes taking the high ground in the end to make sure he wins out the fight. And we had just a moment to reposition. As you said, both on the rifle to trade it out off of the op, and Anarkes, though, will at least recover his one, so it will be brought back into play. Gave it the nickel back for a moment while they were working things out. Hold on to this for me, bro. They have terrible spawns. Look the way they're clustered here.
I know, they're all clustered. Yeah, absolutely right. This is an insane situation so far. Yeah, all B spawns. It does make sense. I just can't believe how that previous round panned out in the end. Like it just Slaxz and Anarkes 1v1, both the Orpas on a rifle. That's another factor which is unusual to see after Slaxz gets the time on the player toward long. If he got that kill first, maybe the round would have been completely different. In the end, his positioning got Sprout that bomb plant, but they were too slow to rotate the bomb over. Oh my. Well set situations, and now LauNX is going to try and play more timing-based Counter-Strike because they realise maybe that's the way. Let's get some rounds on T side. Mir, late boost coming in towards short. This could work out. Refresh hidden behind the pallet. Just gets away with that. 5v4. He's going to be able to escape up con with all his health intact. 5v4. They need to convert this one.
They obviously heard the door opening and closing there on connectors, so that does seem to have pulled their rotations up towards this A bomb site in general, just going for the heavy stack. Unfortunately, Anarkes tries to take the early fight and goes down. They're going to keep on forcing the issue one by one, interestingly. Nickelback eventually, though, going to be able to return with a couple. But I don't think he realizes Zyphon already closed in the distance, but he deals with it. The flash over from Hooch, who's able to get a kill for himself in the meantime, and even put the nail in the coffin on refresh. How did they recover that 2-on-5? That is ridiculous. A triple kill from Nickelback, a double from Hooch. Both teams just more than happy to take fights one by one, even when they have the numbers there. They're just not supporting each other as you would expect, because they've both had such weird lax games that I feel like they've lost their rhythm. The first map, I mean, it was 10-1 for Sprout, then they ended up losing a bunch of rounds before eventually closing it. Then there's a ridiculous comeback on the second map where Entropiq initially are getting dominated, then they're having absolutely no resistance. So it feels like both teams are in the mindset where it's either they're just completely shut out like Sprout are, or else it's a bit too easy, so that they're making these little mistakes.
Yeah, I mean,
surprisingly, they're not being punished too much for them.
No, it's crazy, isn't it? It never rains but it pours for Sprout right now. They had a chance to win a round. They walk into Anarkes on B. They have a chance to win another round. They walk into Hooch Nickelback Masterclass. My goodness. And you would say that rain would often help grow a Sprout. Right now it must be acid rain, because everything's turning nightmarish. Okay, Krad's just seen 3 players. That helps.
It's a bit early, unfortunately.
Oh, he's done it again.
Just the shoulder must have been showing at most right there with the angle that he had. As Slaxz gets finished as well. It's Nickelback who steals that one away. Hooch is like, come on, man. You get these kills. I don't get to play many officials. Let me pad those stats so that it says I have like a 1.5 rating, you know? And like, that's what Hooch wants. As we get a
Dmitry
pause.
Bogdanov, the man, the myth, the legend.
I like that he's just rocking his real name now as well. He's like, you know what? I'm not a pro player anymore. I want people to know me from me.
Exactly. I reckon that's obviously the hard playing a bit of...
yeah, no. It says Hooch in the kill feed, sure.
Exactly, yeah. It's playing some naughty tricks with us, which obviously would make production a bit unhappy with it. But you can't do anything about it. Now Dmitry is the legend. The man, the myth. We mentioned, of course, you know, he used to play for Gambit back in the day. Insane little period of that team. That was a wild couple of events that he played. I remember. I think he played against, I think it was a VP, I think, back in the DreamHack or something. All that sort of stuff. The old Polish roster, of course. And now After not playing an official since December 2020, he's +3 against a team that is Major Legends. You can't write this script.
Yeah, this just isn't the Sprout that we're used to seeing, though. I don't know what's going on with them. Slaxz must be just feeling like he can't do anything right at the moment. He'll get multiple kills, he's doing what he can, but his teammates are just not having a solid game at all. Zyphon's going to find a decent opening here, at least around the gap of that connector smoke. Putting himself up to 4 kills now. It does happen, in fairness. And when there's multiple players who are struggling, it tends to be more of the approach to the rounds that are going wrong, rather than the actual players themselves being the biggest issue. It's always a mixture of both. Anarkez, though, posted, waiting for the peak to come around. The flash comes, but he times it perfectly. Mirror's good to drop the bomb carrier, actually, as well.
Oh, no.
That's a big problem.
That is a big problem. The bomb's miles away, it feels. LauNX will stop Hooch, but him exiting that left side monster position might give them the impression that it's completely clear. Krad is still here. Zyphon's not looking at it. And yes, Hooch has baited in Krad to perfection. This is a masterclass right now from Entropiq. A team that won't even be together probably in a couple of months' time. 40 seconds, I say 40 seconds, really only 30 to get the bomb planted for Sprout. Stair and LauNX, the two youngsters. LauNX is under half the age of Hooch. They're getting taught a lesson right now.
Has that experience. It's definitely shown throughout this series, even if his mechanics may not be on point, as Mir slowly comes in behind, and well, he's going to go so slow that he's not even going to get a chance to participate in the action, unfortunately. 10-1, he doesn't care at this point as long as they're winning. He's still sitting at 14-5 as well, so he's having a fantastic game. And this is about where Entropiq would have started their comeback if it was Sprout that was leading 10-1. So,
and look,
let's see if we get the vice versa from Sprout now.
The scoreboard's in that situation again. It was Slaxz on 12 with everyone else on 1. Now it's everyone on 11 deaths, but Slaxz on 14 kills and everyone else on 4.
At least he no longer has triple the kills of everyone else combined. 16 between them now.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But now goes Zyphon again, and Arca is picking aggressive toward connector. Another opening pick in this sort of half-buy round for Sprout. 1 AK to play with. 4-4-4-4-14. Refresh should be able to catch up on Arquez, but his flick is way too quick. Couldn't hit the insta headshot and gets punished for it. And now Mir is just playing with his food toward the Deagle coming up from the T steps. He realizes he's going to get peeked from players coming up connector from Fountain, so he'll play safe and use the smoke to give him more space. He's stuck between the rock and a hard place now, quite literally. That is the rock. The hard place is directly behind him.
This is awkward.
There we go. Finally he goes down, but Slaxz needs to kill. I'm not sure if he's going to expect Nickelback, and even though he does, he misses the shot. Nickelback spots both the two players who are wrong as well. LauNX hits the shot though, and in the end the trade's instant. So 1v1 again, but Krad's missed the shots on the flank. Oh my goodness. Could that be a way to get Sprout a second round? Stair can plant toward A, or he can even go back down toward B if he really wants to. Krad's going to second guess him, and he realizes that it's A. Goes to the peak, spots him. Now it's a clean 1v1, but Stair isn't very healthy. Tries to peek behind the Molotov, and it does work well to catch Krad off. But it's Gimmicks that have won Sprout their second round. What a wild map. 2 on the board now, finally.
A little bit of fortune as well, making it around that initial corner as the bullets were raining down on him, but well played in the end. The second round, as you said, for Sprout finally comes true. Can they build off of it, though? Do they have it in them to claw this halfback to at least 4 rounds, potentially the full 5? That would be ideal, of course. In fairness, if they win this one, the money's gone, so the 4th would be pretty much a given. Arquez flashed back from mid. I don't think they want to stick around too much, as Mir and Arquez decide that it was a good time for a hug. Hopefully they get out of there before any trouble starts.
I'm going to say they're hugging. He read my mind. 5-7 on Hooch. Limping down on Krad. Sprout have kept the economy honest for Entropiq the entire half, but they haven't just been able to win that round that finally breaks it. LauNX looking towards short pipe, not seeing anything at the moment. Impian, of course, in the cubby. Krad played there earlier as well on an anti-eco. Got himself 3 kills, but now, of course, he has to be wary of connector as well, and that would make him easier to be pre-fired. LauNX has crept past the angle. Zyphon could pick door at any moment, but they're going to go back toward T-spawn and go to B as a group. Hooch will deploy a smoke. And now Mia, what's his timing going to be like? Shown. Zyphon holds down mouse 1 and just gets away with the dink. So 5v4 to get Sprout toward B, but there are players here to defend.
Oh, Nickelback with a double as they come out from Monster. Krad's MP9 tucked in on short as well. Good to deal with that lurker, leaving Hooch a bit of room here to hopefully get something done on the 5-7. And they have no idea he's still tucked in behind the bomb site. Hooch is the one who looks to close it out, and well, he'll be a little bit too cautious with the final kill, but that's better than swinging and going down. Wanted to make sure one of his teammates was taking the fight at the same time. So you can see the brain is clearly on point, because he's normally sitting there watching his teammates, seeing these little things happen and thinking, why would you do that? Why would you do that? So he's going to make sure now that he doesn't do any of those things.
Exactly. That's a flex, isn't it? You get a kill with your 5-7 signed by yourself. Hooch stickers.
Didn't even notice that, actually.
Yeah. And Sprout, I haven't even had their stickers released yet. I was a major player before you youngsters.
This is just a very rough spot to be in. The kills are beginning to spread out a little bit for Sprout, which is better.
At least, yeah. I will just remind you guys, of course, who might not be aware of the situation. Whoever wins this game goes to playoffs, but Sprout won't be eliminated. They can still play K23 in the decider match and win and make it through as well. So both these teams can make it. It's
hopefully actually played them this time as well.
Yeah,
it was
true.
A forfeit win they got the last time.
Exactly, yeah. And I do believe that Challenger League's format is being changed next season as well. I read a little release from ESL/ESCA on that one.
I'll pretend I fully know about that because I should. Yeah, I heard about that. Totally trapped.
Read it after. It's actually kind of interesting. More matches,
I'll
I
check it
think.
out.
It's interesting. One bracket, I believe, rather than a 4-group setup. Which
Something
might be...
more similar to what it used to be, then?
Maybe, yeah. Obviously, we've been around. I mean, you especially have been casting this league for a very, very long time. I'm a noob compared to you in this league, but
the seasons fly through at this point, so
they do. They
probably
do.
been here nearly 10 seasons.
Yeah, it's bordering on that. I think I started season 34. So yeah, almost 10.
Close
8
to.
now. Yeah.
Very slow round play now. The one rifle, the one AK rather, built in its position outside Monster as well. We should see a little shift in the focus towards this B bomb site from Entropiq hopefully soon. Because they did have 3 players stacked up towards A, and well, actually, hang on. Because they're beginning to pull this back from outside of Monster. They don't have a ton of time though.
Yeah, up con. At the time, I think Mia has spotted the majority of the team there. I think he spotted at least 3 players. But look at Anarchis. This could be very smart, but it's also smart from Sprout to have one player lurking long late. Anarchis is going to get caught in the open, and the bomb's going to be up towards the site completely okay. But Nickelback's far from the trade. I'll tell you who was also there, though. It's LauNX, but it doesn't matter. Hooch has dropped the bomb. Just in the end, recovered. Oh my goodness, that was so tight again. LauNX had to race that one down. Hooch tried to stay alive after he dropped that bomb with 7 seconds to go. Just couldn't make it happen. In the end, him being last alive was the Sprout saviour. And if they can get 4, I would not put it beyond them in any way at all to make a comeback. So we shall see.
I'm just going to avoid ever making predictions on a game where Sprout's involved. It doesn't matter even what the lineup is, just Sprout. They're the most unpredictable team ever. It is.
I know, right? I mean, they had their...
It doesn't matter what 5-man.
Yeah, like they had their 6 streak in the RMR. I mean, like I casted their game to qualify. In the end, it was the game that got them to the Legend stage, not even the Challenger stage. And I love this team. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a fantastic roster with future stars. I've touted Stare and LauNX as maybe even future, like they're phase quality players. Like in like 2 or 3 years, maybe when they get to around the year of 20. Because right now, of course, they're still very young, but yeah, it's inconsistencies are their issue, especially online, and right now we're seeing it firsthand. Hooch is teaching him a lesson at the moment. And Krad with the fight with the CZ, I should say, in connector is going to stop Zyphon on the final round of the half as well. And look at Krad. He's pushed off the back of it. Refresh checking it just in case. But Krad's got the line. Does Refresh check it properly? Timing works out perfectly. Hooch's legendary 5-7 works out again. And just like that, it's a 5v1 with what is only a couple of rifles to start off. Slaxz with just the deagle. It's going to be 12-3 for Entropiq. Don't you mess with your elders.
Shit.
Yeah.
I feel it's a suitable time to throw that word out. They get like one of those a season, don't they?
Maybe you do. Anyway, we're going to go to a break. And when we're back, we're going to see if Entropiq can pull off the impossible.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
12-3. It's 12-3. Guys, it's 12-3. What's happened? Well, the answer is I don't know. Hooch! Maybe he was the answer all along. Get him in the server for good. Maybe it solves all of Entropiq's issues and they never would have dropped the team.
All the big
Keck
brain
W.
plays. Now LauNX is going to go aggressive, and well, we're just going to have aggression obey long. In general, it didn't start off too poorly with Steer getting the initial kill, but quickly Enarquez with that Glock is going to start returning headshots. Slaxz now trapped in around the bathrooms, could be in trouble. He's not being pushed on from the other side, so he could fall back if he wanted to, but instead decides to stand his ground as firmly as possible, but it's not going to be enough as heads continue to topple on this CT side, leaving it all on refresh. And I don't think he's going to be feeling too refreshed after just a short halftime break. Had a very rough first half, as did most of his team. 2 guns, perhaps what he needs in this battle, but it's not going to work out for him. 13-3. I mean, we had seen crazy comebacks, so I wasn't completely counting Sprout out at the halftime by any means, but as the pistol goes the way of Entropiq here, there is very little chance for Sprout now to get themselves, let alone back into this game, but just to even get their feet planted and get a real gun round going.
Right, let's see. It was 14-5 for Sprout on Mirage. They lost 16-14.
I can't have another stupid comeback like that. That shouldn't have happened, let's be real.
Yeah.
I would have liked a close game like that, back and forth, but Sprout should be mad at themselves about how that last game.
I agree. I couldn't agree with you more, but at the same time,
Entropiq deserve it at this point.
Yeah, I would say at this point, Entropiq deserve it. 13-3, 10-round lead. Surely, right? It's the famous S word that all casters probably shouldn't say. But surely, at this point, we think we know who is going to win. Slaxz continue to play with this angle toward long, and Krad actually gives him that kill kind of for free with the scout. Finally a little off the way, but of course it does bait Nickel back in, who was closer, unchecked. So it is a trade. Forced by course for Sprout. EKing here for the rifles in the next would leave them on a all the more impossible comeback. Even the force buy makes it at least give them a glimmer of hope. Stair playing next to the smoke and banana. Not seeing anything as of yet. 3 deals and a FAMAS to keep Sprout going.
Oh, Zyphon. Tough position with only a deagle here to get something done. I think ideally trying to just stay alive and bait them into the angles of his teammates, and well, it worked for some damage initially. Unfortunately, the weapons just aren't really there to make it happen. Those weaker pistols fail on that range to win the battles versus the rifles, and Enarquez is low on health, sure. They still have the numbers, and with the bomb planted and the time working in their favor now, Entropiq are just looking to tuck in and run that clock down.
Yeah, no kit. They realise that just wasting the clock is the way to go. Hooch 14-10. Look at him go. Towards the shot he resides, but he baits his position and baits him straight into Enarquez. Refresh on the Deagle and Mac-10. Can't even get one right now. There it is. Finally gets that kill, but he's so blind in the corner. Has time to pull up that Mac-10, but Nickelback takes him out. 14-3. It's no 14-5. So I reckon this one is all said and done almost. Entropiq have a path to playoffs that is just 2 rounds away.
Just pistols, full eco to try and fight for an overtime. It's always demoralizing, especially when you're in the 3rd map of a series that could send you into playoffs. Obviously, it's not going to be the end of the season by any means. As we said for Sprout, they'll have to actually play a game versus K23 this time. But if they're playing like this, I wouldn't say that game's a given either.
No, I mean, K23 did quite well at the RMR, didn't they? I think they outperformed my expectations, getting to at least 2 wins. Not bad at all. Pretty good team with, of course, after losing Norbert and Fame, 2 outsiders as well. I thought that might almost kill the team, but they performed relatively well.
Yeah, with 2 additions that I wasn't really all that familiar with either. Finnegan, at least, was a player that I hadn't really got to see any of before. For now, though, we do need to focus on this game. I'd imagine Sprout are still doing so as well. Little Berettas, a few Deagles. Hope to get maybe a few kills here as the push begins to come through on towards the A-bomb site. And they do have a bit of a stack in place, so I'm not going to count them out completely. Zyphon with a decent beginning. Let's take one before Steers to fall in return. And here we go. The Deagles, they're just raining down hell. Refresh swings with those dual Berettas. He had been tucked in up close the entire time. And suddenly, it's Hooch left on his own to try and save the day. We'll get the first kill, though. Refresh taking a bit of a wild swing. Now it's LauNX with no armor. 38 health up against that Galil. And since he's given up the bomb site as well, Hooch should be able to run in and get it planted. Although being unaware of that player's position is going to mean that he's likely going to stall a small bit. And that means he's left in the open as the flank comes in.
That was close. I had a feeling that Hooch might make that one happen, but in the end, Sprout recover it. And that really is all down to LauNX in the end, of course. I'm pretty sure that was a Deagle collateral headshot. I was worried about them lining up toward long, but once they got past that sort of stage of falling over each other, as they seemingly were, I thought they would have been fine, but the Deagle collateral keeps Sprout going. 14-4, full force buy for Entropiq. If they lose this, 14-5. I'm not saying anything.
Right in front of you, Travis.
I'm not saying anything, okay?
It's a bit of a rough buy for Entropiq. Wouldn't have minded the eco considering the scoreline, just to try and focus towards getting a strong buy as early as possible, but they could get run rifle, I suppose, so they've gone for it. Let's see, we've seen Sprout stumble against weaker buys in the past as well, and Anarquez on the scout already gets it off on a high note. There's an M4 to be recovered as well. Suddenly there's an extra rifle in the hands of Entropiq with a man advantage early on. You do not like to see this. Oh. If you are a Sprout fan, and Anarquez just keeps on going with this scout. High ping, doesn't matter. He's the one pushing into these angles and taking heads.
Marquez has been superb. 21-7 so far. Make that 21-8 now as Refresh finally gets a kill back in return. Mia lurking around Divider, trying to get this frag, but Refresh takes him. Really important. Krad picks up that scout and gets the kill, though. Retains a man advantage. LauNX rotating up toward the A bomb site. Has that rotation been heard? Nickelback will slow it down toward long and wait for Krad to come up next to the truck, and LauNX is too good. Gets one, gets two. Clean sprays on both. And it leaves Hooch with just the Deagle. 1 versus 2, and he even has the presence of mind LauNX to fall back behind that smoke as well. That's a lovely shot from Hooch, though. And look at the health on LauNX. Can he peek before he picks up the gun? He can. And again, it comes down to LauNX versus Hooch. And again, LauNX wins it when it looked like he wasn't going to.
Was that an auto-wep switch?
I don't know. It's a chance, considering he doesn't play much.
Yeah, he might not have known, because sometimes, for me anyway, that setting sometimes just reverts itself, even though it's in my my auto exec and all.
Yeah.
Every now and again, it's randomly turned on. And considering he doesn't play a ton, at least on a proper professional level, it might have been on. It looked like it. Yeah, but I don't know if he would have pulled it out so quickly right there. I think he probably would have held the angle for a moment with the Deagle until he had a bit of cover to pull out the M4. Because, I mean, you're not even certain it has bullets in it, right?
Yeah, good point, yeah. It was only one bullet that he needed to hit LauNX with, and I think they may have known that after he got those kills relatively recently, right? So they would have known that
they knew he was damaged, not to the extent maybe, but
yeah, just knew he was hit at least. So, damn, 2 1v1s between the same 2 players. You never know. Could prove to be the difference between a close win or a significant loss.
Now we're just chilling on the eco pretty much. The P250. Other than that though, it's Glocks. Seems like the round Entropiq will win, right? Normally how it goes. You give up all hope that anything's going to happen in a round, and somehow the opposing team fluffs it so hard that they lose against Glocks, but it doesn't seem to be the case this time around, thankfully. Anarquez does get himself 1 more kill, and with that an M4, maybe there's a couple more to come his way. Might catch the aggression of Connector. I was going to say the reload should have given his exact position away, so I thought Zyphon was just going to hold the angle and be ready for it, but no. Now Anarquez wins the fight, and eventually he'll feel the wrath of a scout. I feel like that's deserved at this point. He's dished it out so much.
He has, you're right. Anarquez gets a scout bullet to the brain, and they'll be able to continue. With Entropiq, I'll use the same rule. If they're on 14, you never know. There's always a chance. And with the way the series has gone, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. I've been surprised by a lot of things. It's been wild. It's been crazy. Rounds at Sprout will be pretty upset that they've lost. Entropiq have their full buy with Anarchist on his AWP. Utility isn't amazing. It's enough, but it's not full. Krad has nothing at all.
Oh, Zyphon.
Okay.
LauNX going to be
Okay.
red as well. Well, this is horrible. I mean, the economy is not even there for Sprout if they are to lose a round to try and fight for the overtime with a full buy, and they are just getting decimated right now. This is worst case scenario, really.
It is. It is. Refresh and Slaxz with a FAMAS and a Scout. Not a combination that does many 2v5s. I can assure you of that. Refresh is going to try and clear out Connector, but he'd be wrong. Everyone's up banana, everyone's up toward the front of bathrooms. Booch, the coach stand-in with another kill in this round. Forrester, when he wasn't playing, we thought, oh, maybe this series is going to be a quick one. And we definitely thought that when Sprout were 14 up, 5 up on map 2. And it's turned into this. It's going to be 15-6 for Entropiq. What soon, of course, will be Entropiq. So many factors not on their side, but they're outperforming everything right now. Dmitry Bogdanov. I'm a Dmitry Bogdanov enjoyer.
Me too. We've got to make the fan club. Booch, full name. SlaxZ is, well, some damage at the very least, but that's not really going to amount to much as he ends up losing his weapon, which would have been a bit more useful in his team's hands in this round, where they are fighting for their life, really, in this series, of course, but not in the overall tournament. They will still have their opportunity to face K23. But who would have thought it would be Entropiq moving forward into the playoffs when you had Sprout up 14-5 on that previous map, ready to end the 2-0. Since then, they've earned a total of, well, 6 rounds. They got none on the previous map after the lead they had.
Yeah, and realistically, I mean, I said it earlier about Entropiq, right? But they all stepped up at the right time. I feel like I can feel a bit more free in saying it now. It's hard to win a map in any professional Counter-Strike game when you have a player going 7-21 and a player going 10-20 or 11-19. Like, it's just not going to happen, right? So I'm not going to say it's all down to the individual performances, but Entropiq's CT side was something to behold. And Hooch is rolling back the years, the caster phrase that, unfortunately, is perfect for this situation.
He's been waiting for his moment to shine again. He's known he still had it the entire time, just waiting for the right moment to show it off. SlaxZ just trying to bait them in at the moment, hoping that his weaker weapon teammate will be able to get something done if they're not paying attention to him. Unfortunately, it's the Deagle against the AK of Mir, and a couple of missed shots gives Mir plenty of opportunities to return fire. And, well, speaking of fire, Connector is where the actual action's going down with that Molotov. Hooch didn't really put it in the right position, though, so he's just going to get swarmed once he puts down the molly, and that gives an extra rifle at least to Sprout to work with. As well as the damage on Nickelback. This isn't a terrible position to be in, actually.
No, 4v4. On the edge of a defeat here are Sprout, and Krad's going to find Refresh. Mir looking around bathroom, looking for a rotation. All the timing doesn't work out. That's unlucky. He was waiting there for a while, and look where LauNX is. Anarchist is on the line, when does he choose to peek? Oh, his crosshairs not in the right spot. And Anarchist pounces. But SlaxZ once again gets a trade. He's been the main Sprout player doing damage in this game, and there we go. Gets himself another frag. It's all down to Krad. Gets one, and now it's all down to Zyphon. Looking for the final player, looking for Krad, but in the end, it doesn't matter if you're 7-21. If you get your critical 8th kill to win a 1v1 to keep your team in the game, it's worth it. And it's an impact frag, and Sprout will only just stay alive.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, maybe Zyphon could have been tucked in behind the pillar trying to get defused there, but overall, that seemed like it was kind of planted for him, and maybe it wasn't communicated, because he could have played that perhaps a little bit more securely. I was a bit surprised he didn't take the win there as well. It seemed like he had the drop on him when he initially swung across the bomb site. Zyphon just a bit quicker on the reactions that time around, so good work. It gives them a lifeline. 8 rounds to go, though, if they want to send it into an overtime, so there's a good bit more work before we really start to celebrate it. And actually, it looks like Refresh is stuck on a Deagle. That's unfortunate. Guns are there for Entropiq, just like a little in the hands of Anarchist being the only weakness.
SlaxZ on the line. Gets himself a nice kill toward long.
What the hell?
There we go. That's gotten out of hand
Everywhere.
pretty quickly. All across the map. Indeed. Just... Oh, nice shot from Mir. This is kills alongside Hooches now. But it's still a 2v4, and it's going to be pretty impossible from this situation. Maybe even an AK save might work out here, because they've got no map control at all. Mir has a little bit of utility that he could keep as well. Hooch is going to try and find something with the bomb. Zyphon's low. 1 bullet required to take him. Just waiting for someone to show themselves.
The patience and the wiseness. Future's experience right now. Waiting for someone to make that mistake.
Look at them both
Sprout?
jiggling.
Yeah, Sprout don't need to go any further than where they currently are. They have a good position for refresh as well, just kind of playing passive enough up on the A-bomb site with a player pushed up towards connector, so they have a good idea that it is going to be towards B. As eventually Hooch is forced to start inching his way forward, actually catches Zyphon, one player around the pillar now that if he goes down without any sort of resistance, suddenly the round could fall away from them. Fortunately, he will be good for at least the 1 and the 2nd follow-up on towards Mir. LauNX stepping up when it's necessary. He hasn't had a terrible game, but definitely not as strong as what we may expect of him usually. No. And Steer, the same thing definitely to be said there. Refresh, I mean, we know he's capable of a lot more, but he's got the excuse at least of currently calling.
Yeah, exactly. He's I mentioned earlier that it hasn't really impacted him too much, but occasionally he can have the odd game, which is a rough one. Yeah, this is a great performance from Entropiq at the moment. We'll be running through the Molotov is Mir to try and get some control with the AK. Stair going aggressive, and already he's been tagged as well, so the AK is now the walking wounded, unfortunately. Probably not much that he's going to be able to get done. He's got the only set of armor as well, so it's not like he can really switch it over to a teammate. Gonna have to stick with it. Had to have a little chuckle when I had a look at chat and saw people saying, "I love Dmitry Bogdanov. I do too, man." Imagine if just someone does that one day, makes their alias their full name, so you have to call them like that.
I want to see it. Maybe that's what Hooch is doing now.
Yeah.
Revolutionizing.
He's revolutionizing the whole scene.
Names, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Not going too well in terms of getting to rep the name often, unfortunately. This is probably a one and done.
It is a one-off, unfortunately, yeah.
Or maybe he's proven himself. Full addition to the squad now.
I mean, this is a demo that people are going to be watching. Like, you know, professionals, analysts, like, people are going to be wondering how on earth this has happened, and we'll definitely be giving this one a look.
That much of a miracle. You're making it seem like he's a useless old man now.
No, but it's just, I'm giving him the most respect I could ever give him. I'm just saying that this is just such an unlikely result. You should never expect this in a month of Sundays. But yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm aware of his past and what he can do. Mir is gonna concern himself to saving the AK because he can buy utility next round, so this is fine. Only Hooch will be hamstrung on probably a Mac 10 or a Tech 9. And Dmitry Bogdanov has a chance to lead his team to victory. Plenty of series points to work with. I've got a couple more to try and finish it off. Do you reckon it helps Entropiq in game that they've got their coach giving some ideas? Maybe it takes some pressure off Nickelback a little bit?
In most situations, probably not, but maybe in ones where they are kind of running into a little bit of a wall and they need to kind of get that one round. I'd say overall, though, you'd rather have the extra fragging power, but considering they only need one round, the fact that he can bring fresh ideas, yeah, it's a good thing, but, I mean, he could have done that in the coach role either way. This is an online game, let's be real.
Exactly. Exactly. Good point. Zyphon, time on the pick toward long. Oh, that's a tasty lineup. Mir finds Stair on the quick trade in the meantime during that fight, but all the kills are going in toward Sprout's favour. And this one is certainly not done. Krad last alive. 1v4. Sprout are about to hit double digits. Krad's got some timing here. I was about to say, he might catch him just as he falls away, but there's the information. He'll B-hop off towards short to look for one more duel. But Slaxz has the line. And, yeah, I do agree with you that complacency can certainly come into the equation in this sort of situation, right? You've got such a big lead, and it might be coming back to bite them both in this game.
Yeah, even in some of the rounds they were winning when they were still building up the lead earlier on, they were losing players from little things that weren't really necessary, and we did point it out a couple times. But overall, we were letting it slip because it was going so well. But now that they've started to lose some rounds and they're still making similar mistakes, it's just spiraling completely out of control. You've got an opening kill already for SlaxZ, and this is again a half by either way, so we're not expecting too much here. But there's maybe at most 3 gun rounds on the board for Entropiq before this is an overtime, so getting quite scary. I think you've got to start believing in the comeback at this point.
Don't stop believing.
It's been a journey, all right.
The hard is wobbling, just like we are, with nerves.
Yeah, I never understood that. Just
And
doesn't like pauses.
Yeah, production just hits the reset button and it's back to normal again. It's always amusing. It'll, you know,
Makes it hard to forget you're on a pause at least.
Ah, what a game.
Narquez, he's been on 24 kills for a long ass time, right?
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. Good point. Impact.
I think Krad's been around 27 for a while too, also.
Yeah,
it's just all slowed down massively.
Not been great. And, you know, for a Legends team like Sprout to lose in this situation, I mean, for me, I feel like it's borderline unforgivable, especially from the position they found themselves on map 2. But it's not over yet. 15-11, 4 in a row needed to get us to overtime. Slaxz has reached 30. Don't forget he was the only one in this game that really was putting in the numbers, if you remember earlier. And he was on 12 and everyone else was on 1 kill.
Yeah. It's changed up pretty big since then. He's still miles ahead in fairness, but everyone else has started fragging alongside him at least. Definitely slowed down himself a small bit. There with the opening kill here though is going to ensure that Sprout are not slowing down. 5 on 3 already at this point with Mirren and Arquez gone. 2 of the bigger names in general, I would say.
So badly because he knows he's just thrown a Molotov, and there we go, gets the frag. 5v2, falls away. Krad's picked up a long way further up banana than they're expecting, but SlaxZ deals with it. Now it's poor Hooch, 1v4, and there's already a player in T-spawn to deal with him. LauNX will destroy him, rip his head off. And the comeback continues. Entropiq have hit a brick wall, just like Sprout did on Mirage. Pistols again. It would just be the way Counter-Strike works if they won this round, wouldn't it?
Wow, these games are playing out. Come on, just try a rush.
This is a funny game.
Interconnector.
This is a funny game for you coming back after a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, I was hoping we'd get some back and forth, and we've got it. It's just in strings of 8 to 10 rounds at a time. Stairs doing a good job. In on the stairs. Makes sense.
It does.
Opponents may as well have been staring at him.
There we go.
I had to do it. I knew it was terrible.
I mean, it's
you know
sometimes it's so obvious you have to do it, right? Gets
and it's all on to the legend.
Yeah.
Don't even have to say his name. You know it.
You know who it is.
And he's dead.
Right. 15-13. Full buy available for Entropiq. They have 2 more attempts to close this out in regulation.
Seems impossible considering how many they've had, but obviously it's not impossible. Just not loving their chances anymore. Overtime is feeling pretty likely.
Yeah, it does, genuinely.
You won't see Sprout struggle the same way on their T side because they won't be playing 1v5 now that everyone else has warmed up. If they do get into an overtime, that is.
That's true. It was a bit 1vx on their T side. Full utility, full buy, AWP available. Needs some impact from an Arquez somehow. As you mentioned, he's been a bit quiet last few rounds. As have everyone, of course, on Entropiq as well. But you know, to sometimes pin it on the AWPer, and they're going to change up a bit. Sprout like this, boost over the top towards short. That gives him a sightline toward the monster stairs, and Zyphon can just walk short in the meantime as well. One of my favourite boosts actually. They'll drop off of it, and that will mean that the short default player Krad will have definitely heard that. So he looks at it as if to say, okay, you're gone now. Does he choose to try and get some timing towards short? Maybe timing plays are the only thing that can get Entropiq to the finish line here, and his timing's not good. He's checking elsewhere while Zyphon peeks him. And in the meantime, Entropiq tried to make their way up long. Bomb is dropped though. They need to go back for that. Thankfully they got a minute to do so.
Everything just working against Entropiq. At the moment, the time, the numbers, utility at least is there for them to put in and execute. 3 smokes, some flashes, a couple mollies as well to try and flush out some of these positions over towards B most likely. They need to get a move on. Still a bit of utility to come in and Sprout as well. As you can see, the flash note was perfect for the initial fight. The problem is lau/NX was still tucked in behind the pillar, and he's good to get a double spray down before eventually being neutralized, leaving it in a 3-on-2. The numbers still swayed away of Sprout, and well, I was gonna say they've denied the bomb plant, but a smoke at least goes down to let them get the bomb plant. And Hooch, I don't know how he pulls that off, but he hits a nasty headshot, and now he's left alone to try and save the day.
Please, I need this just for my own heart. 1v2, the coach. Oh, they almost lined up. Imagine if he got the first kill. There would have been a slight chance. In the end, it's so near, but yet so far again from Entropiq. That's the closest they've gotten, to be fair, and actually quite a long time. They got a plant, they got a chance, but not to be. And now we've hit the full 30 rounds. Thankfully, the plant, of course, gives them plenty of money for this final round. They're not on Mac 10s, they're not on Tech 9s. It's full AKs again. Maybe they go for B again, I'm not sure, but Hooch gave it his best shot. Imagine if it was Forrester. Maybe he would have had a chance, but they have to work with what they're dealing with, and right now they've worked incredibly well. Final round before we get to OT, or GG.
Feels inevitable that overtime's coming, but I've also had so many occasions where a team grinds all the way back to 14 and somehow lets it slip away. So
I know, right?
I'm just gonna wait and see how it plays out. I don't want to say anything because I'll jinx it or curse it one way or the other. And Arquez, oh my god, it looked certain that he was ready for that. Slaxz is just way too quick. Krad's taking a ton of damage somehow as well in the early stages, I'd imagine, from a nade there, and on the boost at the moment is not really giving them what they need as the numbers elsewhere diminish the fight around mid. It's going to be a trade back at least from Mir. But again, now left in a 3-on-4. At very least, this time around, do have some map control to work with.
Yep, they do. Krad, Mir, and Nickelback. So recover a 3-4. Reflect on the timing. Oh my god! Nickelback's got 2. Oh my goodness, how has he pulled that one off? What a time to show up in this series. He's been pretty quiet in general. And now they've got a 3v2, but look where lau/NX is and look where the bomb is. They have not made a decision whatsoever in this situation. lau/NX will drop down. Did he drop down silently there? What a silent drop that was. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to reward him with anything because Nickelback's pushed towards CT. And Entropiq, are they about to glean 2 16-14s? Look at the player in connector. Miz taking him out. And Entropiq with Dmitry Bogdanov have won against a major legend. Can you believe it?
That's just a ridiculous game. Just the whole way that series played out was stupid as hell. To come back on the second map to happen, you're like, okay, I don't know how Sprout have let that slip. They're out of this series now. They go down massively on that next map as well, and then somehow crawl back from a 15-5 of their own.